The honourable member for Surrey North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of my constituents from Surrey North, I'm honoured to speak to this bill, Budget Bill 2013. Mr. Speaker, I'm very concerned about the budget, its deficiencies, its hidden realities, and the effect these will have on my constituents in Surrey North. This government has been promising that they focus on jobs, but instead the Prime Minister is pushing ahead with job-killing cuts, introducing no new measures to create jobs, instead playing a shell game with skills and training money. Mr. Speaker, again, the Prime Minister is not listening to Canadians. Instead, he's listening to his friends and the insiders. I have been consulting with my constituents in Surrey to seek their priorities as to what they would like to see addressed in this budget. The responses I've got from my constituents are reflective of not only Surrey, but many concerned citizens across British Columbia and Canada. My constituents from Surrey North are very concerned about the homelessness and poverty in my community. In the past 10 years, Surrey has had an increase of over 100% in homelessness population. Throughout BC, Lower Mainlands communities, Surrey hosts the highest percentage of homeless women, a significant number of homeless youth, seniors, and the second largest majority of homeless families, and the highest number of unsheltered persons, including persons who identify as Aboriginals. In this respect, the budget has completely let us down, Mr. Speaker. While on the surface it would appear there's a commitment to homelessness reduction programs, the reality is that there's less allocated funding in this year's budget compared to last year's in 2012. Surrey is one of the fastest growing cities in Canada, Mr. Speaker. My constituents are concerned about infrastructure development, particularly public transportation. In short, public transportation in Surrey is inadequate. Many residents living in Surrey, they commute to work in the neighbouring cities. The SkyTrain system does not serve the majority of our citizens in Surrey, making it difficult to access employment. While the Conservatives say they're addressing infrastructure concerns, it is evident that this is not happening. In fact, the government is reducing the amount dedicated to the development of infrastructure, and my constituents will not only feel it already, but they will be feeling this in the coming years. Mr. Speaker, my constituents are also concerned about support for the seniors in our community. The budget places undue stress on seniors. By raising the age of eligibility from 65 to 67 years old, the government is depriving seniors of old age security and forcing them to continue working even longer. This only benefits the Conservative friends and insiders who are taking money directly out of pockets of our seniors. Seniors have built this country, Mr. Speaker. It is time we look after our seniors who have paid taxes all their lives. We should be providing support in their retirement years for them to live in respect and dignity. British Columbians are very proud of our natural, pristine coast and our extraordinary wildlife in British Columbia, Mr. Speaker. Surrey is proud to be home to 1,400 kilometers of waterways which host 5 species of trout and salmon. My own riding of Surrey North is home to over 900 spawning chum salmon in Bear Creek. The $108 million cuts to the Department of Fisheries and Oceans is upsetting many constituents in my riding who enjoy fishing, taking their children to watch the salmon runs every autumn. It is additionally damaging to the fish and their dependent ecosystem that they live in our rivers. Likewise, it is embarrassing that there is no mention of climate change in the budget for 2013. Mr. Speaker, my constituents are especially concerned about jobs. With a large immigrant population, Surrey North residents are concerned that the new budget has overlooked foreign credential accreditation. By not recognizing new occupations, we are depriving Canadian economy of the skills and experiences of our new immigrants to this country. Surrey is home to over 25 post-secondary institutions, including university, colleges, trade programs, and education for students with disabilities. My constituents are concerned about the rising cost of tuition fees. While the budget does address the need for development of skilled workers through the Canada Jobs Grant Program, I'm concerned this may involve pulling resources away from other effective programs. Shifting money from one program to another does not properly address the job training support that is needed in our community. Furthermore, this program is pending until renegotiation with the provinces has been completed. We have no way of knowing what programs will look like after this discussion. My constituents cannot sit idly while the future lies in the balance, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, moreover, my constituents are also concerned about the lack of post-graduation employment opportunities. Post-secondary enrollment in BC is increasing year after year. Students are concerned about investing money and time to study that will not provide employment for them. Every job advertised, there are 6 Canadians looking for work. Considering the increase in enrollment, these job seekers cannot all be uneducated. Mr. Speaker, with one of the slowest job creation rates in Canada, unemployment in British Columbia is growing. The disappointing loss of funding for social programs, the cuts to infrastructure funding, the inadequate support for development of sustainable technology, and the reduction in funding to the Department of Fisheries and Ocean will all will result in job losses, Mr. Speaker. Furthermore, by raising the age of eligibility for OAS and forcing seniors to work longer, jobs that would have been released in the market continue to be unavailable. The intersection of all these problems, along with recent job losses in British Columbia construction industry and social service sector, will accumulate into a considerable number of unemployed persons in British Columbia. Mr. Speaker, the 2013 budget claims to focus on reducing Canada's deficit and the developing economy. Mr. Speaker, let me be clear about the Conservative record. The Conservative record on deficit is very clear. The Conservatives have not produced a single budget surplus since they formed government 7 years ago. Yet they call themselves competent economic managers. Their record indicates they have mismanaged our economy, and I would call this incompetency on behalf of this government, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, who is going to pay for this Conservative mismanagement of deficits and mismanagement of our economy? Well, Mr. Speaker, the very young people who are overburdened with student loans under this government will be paying for this mismanagement over the years to come. In fact, under this government, Canadians have the highest debt load. Now there will be additional load put on them by this government by having a large deficits over the number of years. Mr. Speaker, on one hand, the Conservatives are producing deficit after deficits to be paid by future generations. However, on the other hand, the Conservatives have been giving billions and billions of dollars of tax breaks to their friends and insiders. Mr. Speakers, Canadians will not forget this in 2015 when the next election is called. There are many proposals that we, as New Democrats, offer to bolster the Canadian economy. We must invest in Canadians themselves, Mr. Speaker. We must build individual agencies by properly addressing unemployment, job creation, education, skills training, not shifting money around. A large workforce provides increased innovation and resources, generates more spending money that employees can then put back into the economies. We need to invest in communities by providing infrastructure and supporting social services that prevent poverty, homelessness, and other public concerns. We need to invest in our environment so that we can support our tourism industry, foster our fishing commerce, and protect those who have jobs in this environmental sector. By investing in our country, we will see positive consequences resonate by stimulating our economy. Mr. Speaker, this budget does not address the priorities and needs of Canadians. Therefore, New Democrats and myself will not be supporting this. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.